Greetings and welcome to Factorio. I'm Dgray, and today we continue our Into Level 2 Megabase, where we will start to look at some of the later parts of this base. So for the last few episodes, or a couple of episodes at least, we have been expanding our science and trying to fix our bottlenecks. One of those was power, so in between episodes I just put down a bit more, got that running, and covered up some of these lakes, so we didn't have to do it on camera. That is about all I've done. So looking at our production, one of the things I'm noticing most common is that steel is not keeping up at all. So I think it's about time we go into some drastic measures in terms of getting steel working, since that is insane how much we need. So what I'm gonna do is do a huge steel expansion and not do it the same way we did here by going just straight up, but maybe just make a 3x3 over here, getting in 9 more, maybe even more than that, just filling in a huge area. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Don't know if what's it called, if we do a 9x9 here, that will be enough. But let's give it a try just to get things flowing, because I am quite surprised about how much we need to get this to work. Could cover the rest of this because we might want to use it for things, so let's just cover it up. And this little part here. There we are. So that will cover up most of this lake and make it into some more useful real estate. So the first thing we want to do is just expand this out quite heavily. So what if we just put down, let's see, what big area can we make? What if we take these 9 first, just to see how our base handles that? I think that'll be quite good. So there's a bit of water right there. Oh yeah, that is being covered, so that's fine. Let's just take this again. And let's see, we started right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can see we have a bit of water to cover around the areas, but that is luckily getting flown in, so we can soon fix the holes we have in our blueprints. This will of course activate a ton of robots, but I don't mind that at all. So let's just mark it on the map, this huge steel setup. I'm quite surprised about how much we need. And I'm quite happy that we made a setup so we just fly in the ore and then we don't have to move iron ore around and just mix it all in one cell. I think that is quite useful at this step to expanding this out. Let's see here. One more, and right here. This is probably going to tax our base a small amount in terms of getting resources flown in, but hopefully it can handle this little thing we're gonna do to it now. Let's also get this just hooked up to cover up this lake. Getting quite close to being done with the setup here. That's quite good. There we are. So that is that part fixed. Let's just check it is correct. Right there. Looks good. Then we just need this little area here to be covered so we can get in the last what's it called? Smelter arrays, or furnaces even. That's what I was trying to say. So that is good. We have things moving around. We have productivity running. We are grabbing from a lot of our base, but we are still not using everything out here. So while this is building, I want to go and look at a few other things we might be lacking. That pretty much just being water as one of the main things. Because the current setup of this right here, which I am quite happy about, just can't keep up. So we should be able to just add in one more. Let's just take this part and line it up. Oh, just barely fit it in. I can't fit it in unless we move this one to the opposite side, so right there instead. Then we can. And then it's good. Let's do it the same for all of the other ones, just to line them up the same way. It's not really necessary to do this. I just like the symmetry of them being at the same place. There we are. That will solve all of our water here, and since we're missing more, we can just take this little part here down to right there. I think it'll be good, and just stamp it down like this, and it should fit in, since we are so lucky that everything is modular. So if we can make it in one area, we can easily expand it down to the next area and pretty much just double our water production. That will hopefully activate our other setups over here that are lacking a few things. What are you lacking? Oh, you're just not running down here, is that correct? Because we have no water coming in. Because this one it has water. Is this not connected up? Oh, it is. That is connected up. So why? Oh, you're just missing. Oh, it's because we fill on heavy oil, I'm guessing. That is what's backing up things. Huh. Oh, we're just missing water up here. I was like, why ain't you running? It's because this one wasn't good enough. Let's just take this one and change that to request a maximum amount. So it was just a lack of water stopping this. Hopefully this will solve it, and we can just move this one to right here instead. So it supplies up here and it supplies down here instead of this area. Small things, but is all we need to keep this base running. This is slowly being set up, and we can just kind of leave it to do its thing. So let's go back and look at, oh wait, before we do that, let's just mark this as water production. Pretty much these 4 cells will be water. So water, water. So we don't use it for anything else. In theory, we could add in some more landfill and make it even more like a water cell and get it off the middle aisle right here. That could be something we could do, and that means we'll have to see how these lines up. I'm actually not quite sure how limited an area you can put it on for them to work, but it seems at least needs a few spots. So, would we be able to fit in 2 here? We could, in just 1 line space. Let's check this. That is 1, 2. So 2 water spaces will leave enough for 1 pump. Can we do it in 1 space as well? I haven't tried with it yet. It seems 2 is what we're using everywhere. But otherwise, they can stack right next to each other. So that's something we'll have to work on in the future, looking at how we can connect up more pumps to less area. So that is very good. So now that is going, we are requesting a ton from over here. I'm guessing this is gonna run into some issue with we're charging a little bit, because look at that, and that massive swarm even flying in. That is gonna cause some issues for us. Probably the same over here. Yeah. That is not optimal. But luckily, as soon as it gets emptied out, it should solve itself. So I'm not that worried, to be honest. In terms of these, if we look at our modules, it seems we're still running quite well. Just missing furnaces and accumulators for our solar arrays. We can't really do anything about these. This should be producing as fast as they can. I just don't know if they go for production here or to be built. But I have a feeling that it will be sent that way. So we can solve this iron issue, or not iron, the steel issue we have that just can't keep up at all. Not sure if we should add in more at the moment. I kind of want to. I think it might be necessary to do it. There we are. Let's fit in the rest down here we are missing. So there we are. That's because of the water we're missing these. That means we are flying in a lot of modules and getting all of this up and running. They are luckily not module heavy in terms of how many we need. But yeah, it does cost a bit. So let's see here. What else is a bottleneck? Still water barrels. That should be solved as soon as this is up and running. And we have enough barrels flying in. Will probably take a little while, but it should solve itself very, very soon. So not too shabby. Production wise, if you just look at science, we are running 4.5K. Of course, that's because we have some buffered and not really that much we can do about it. At least not until we run out of things, but it fluctuates quite a bit. Not quite sure why, but it does. But 4.5K in total. If any of you know why it fluctuates that much, do tell me. Because all of them are running. Oh wait, we're probably missing somewhere, something somewhere. Nope, still good. So yeah, it's strange why it fluctuates. I'm not quite sure why. But we can look into that in a little bit. In terms of robots, 86,000, almost 87. Some of that is because we are doing this part and that part, and a lot is trying to buffer up down here. That is a bit of an issue. But since the only reason that is happening is that this was completely full before we activated this, I don't foresee it as a problem that we need to solve right away. So we will just leave it. In terms of iron patches, we could hook up a few more. Now we're waiting for things to be built anyway. And I think that would be a good way to spend some of our time. And that connects up that way. That means we can remove this part. We can remove part up here. Pretty much take you as well. And just leave this bottom one. Get the rate out. I think that'll be good. Let's add in this, as we've done so many times before. Just making sure our base will never run out. And what's called the advantage of doing this a bit at a time is that at some point we don't need to just go and fix or spend an hour collecting things in watching the base grind to a halt, we can slowly expand out this way, and that is why I'm doing it. There we go. Let's just fill you in. Not much else that is very needed. How is our iron a coal situation? That is still fine. So that's not something we'll have to look at right now. Let's do that again. You can go away. Same with your radar. And let's just get you in. There we are. Let's continue over this way. That seems correct. There we are. So another patch covered. To be honest, I want to cover our coal patch we have right here, because it... Ooh, that's some old things we don't need anymore. Same with that. Means we can put in... Where's it at? This one to solve a bit of things we need, and then just take that away. You add in some miners, and then just have a nice big buffer of coal in case you want to start working on some more coal liquefaction. How's it going here? Yeah, this is the problem with doing this in a straight line. Charging will become a bigger and bigger issue. But yeah, we'll figure out how to do it inside a cell instead, because it's a bit against my principles of how I want to build the base, and you have to be quite consistent when doing this, otherwise you'll run into issues. I'm watching one issue right here, and that is that this pole is most definitely not in the correct place. Because if that was the case, we would never be able to fit in this one. And I kind of want to do it over this way as well. So let's just landfill in that part. From right here to there. Doing a bit of checkerboarding. And then we can try and test how we would line up these inside one of these cells. Finn, if you have a good design, do comment it or talk to me on Discord. It's always nice to seeing something new. And that's that. The base is running. Power-wise, we are hopefully, with the expansion we did of Elite Solar, having enough. Just as a reference, this is 144 normal solar panels. This is 280 normal solar panels. This is 340 normal solar panels. So that's why you can see the jump. Even though we have less, they are a lot more powerful. One of these is 100 of these, and one of these is 10 of these. So yeah, it's a factor of 100 up to these. So they are very, very nice. And I'm quite glad that pretty much what I put down here, each one of these is 100 of these. So that's an insane amount, and me placing all that down would have been, yeah, you've seen how many I've done already. That would have been a bit annoying. I think we have about 130 in each of these cells. If we then have 140,000, that means we've put down about 1,000 of these cells. A bit more than that. So I think we've done a good job in terms of that. If we had to do all of these, we would have put down 10,000 cells, something like that, of solar. Oh, not 10,000, 5,000 maybe. Maybe 5,000 cells of solar. And that would have taken up about 5 times the size. So yeah, glad we didn't do that. That would have been a huge waste of time. Or at least I don't have time to do that in real life. That's just my situation. So yeah, not cheating, just saving a bit of time that way. So should we hook up the last two? Does the fit right in between? Ooh, quite close, to be honest. I don't mind that at all. Then we'll need to hook up all of this with rubber ports. Let's get a radar right there. And then we can landfill in this little amount here to get the rest of these. And we can line this one up to here to get that hooked up. And that is looking good. So did our steel get done? Not quite yet. A lot of these is going for our science production. That is running at 4K, slowly going down because we're starting to lack some things. That means if we go into our logistics network, we can see what we're lacking. Pretty much 4 different kinds of sciences. Did not expect that much to be lacking, to be honest. Might just be a lack of robots moving things around, since we are moving so much product to our smelters, as you can see right here. I love how it just converges down here. Picking up all the ore it can, and then taking it back. That is very nice. This one is just chugging along. Could probably start to put a limit on how many robots it put outputs. But yeah, I'll not be the judge of that. I'll just let it do its thing. What I could start doing though is put down more of a charging space, as that seems to be starting to be one of the main issues we have in the base with the amount of robots we have flying around, especially at some of the high throughput areas. So let's see, do you see any where it's a real problem? This is a problem right now, should solve itself slowly. Other than that, most of our highly congested areas does have robots in them. Oh, is this done? This is completely done, that's nice. Means you can go away. That gives us an empty cell to use. Might be time to move this somewhere else if we want to have the area in here clear for more important things. Still chugging along right here. And other than that, the rest is looking quite good. Still a lack of steel as our main issue. So we could expand. Oh. So in theory we could expand out more up here, but should we just do that right now? Just to do a huge steel expansion, we can just do maybe the outer edge here. I'll add 11 more, pretty much doubling this. Could do it. Just to make sure we don't have to worry about steel, hopefully ever again. But there's so many things require steel, so I don't think that will be the last time we do it. But yeah, let's just do it. What's the worst that can happen? Let's do a massive steel expansion yet again. I know the other one is not built yet, but the base will handle that slowly but surely. I just need to tell it where to build. Whoops. Let's stop you. That's another double click. Here we go. Let's continue with this way. And what does it fit in? Right here. Let's start from over here instead then, so we can see. And there we are. That will be even more steel. Wow, this is a massive steel expansion. Not quite sure if we will double our production with this, but it's at least something like that will do. Might just stop the science for a little while to get this done, and then start the science afterwards. Yep. Oh. Look at our little base trying to stay alive. Gonna be quite fun to see how our power will handle this. At least here is a lot more steel. Holy moly. Yeah, we'll just let this go its course. We do have enough modules to support it. But filling up all these buffer chests is what's gonna be a bit of an issue. Or at least what's gonna tax our robots. Wow. Yeah, no rest for the wicked. Or for the weary. I don't know how the saying is. But yeah, we are taxing the robots quite a bit. So let's just expand out this, and then we are close to a point where I'll call it an episode, so we can get the rest of the base hooked up to do what we need. There we are. And this is also the point where I'm quite happy how much effort we put into getting power sorted. Otherwise this could have been a huge issue. Because the power running out is a bit annoying. So there we are. Still a few patches left where I can grab from. Still need to fix this one. That's one thing I forgot, and one thing I most definitely want to get done. So the last thing this episode is just me fixing this. Let's see. There we are. And let's fit right here. That seems somewhat correct at least. There we go. That is entire new pads solved. This is slowly getting filled in. And our power is looking great. We have 10k of solar energy. Can go 21 at a time. So how much is that currently? 21. 38. Around 45, 47, around that gigawatts of power to run this base right now. That is of course quite a bit more than we need, but with these robots you never know, all of a sudden they just go crazy and try to steal all your power. That is my experience with them. So I will end the episode here. Just looking at some of the things that's missing. Of course, if you can solve steel by next episode with the massive expansion with it, that is good enough for me in terms of getting a successful episode. So we'll check that out next time. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Hopefully you're still enjoying this. Hopefully you'll still give me a like. And then I will see you in the next episode. Bye, guys.